Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach, and today I'm gonna have my coffee first. I love coffee. I can't live without coffee. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make your own relay box. So as you guys know, I'll be putting in a 2JZ with a GS7 gearbox from the M3 into my BMW E90. It's a 2007 with right-hand drive, so it's a bit of challenge. I'll be running the max ECU as well to control both the engine and the gearbox as well, with the max ECU harness for the DCT as well. So let's get to it. Hey guys, alright, so before we start, I'm gonna show you guys what tools you need, and bam, that's right, this is all the parts you will require to make your own relay box. It depends on your application on how you want that relay box, but basically it's just the same format. Obviously you will need relays. Yep. It is called a relay box, so you need relays. The best is to get connectors like that, where relay connectors you could actually mount them together. That way it's, you know, flat and together at the same time. Well, you don't want to get the one where the relays stick together. Yep, you do not want that. You want the connectors but not the relays, so that it's easier to swap in and out. And you will want to get a board. Any board is fine as long as it's thick enough and it's not conductive. You know, you don't want anything that's conductive because, well, you know, it is an electrical box. I'll be using, hold on, let me show you guys. I'll be using a number plate. It's like acrylic, but it's not really acrylic. I don't know, but it is like exactly how you mount your number plate here in Malaysia. I know in the US you guys use mostly aluminium and it's stamped, right? But here, yeah, we use something like that. It's very nice, it's easier, you can self-tap drill and everything. You need wires. I'll be using, I think this is 14 gauge and this one is 16 gauge. So 16 and 12 gauge, sorry, 12 gauge and 16 gauge. This is basically a fail-safe. It's like a big fuse, right? So anything happens, if let's say there was a fire in the car or something is wrong and you want to cut ignition and power to every single thing, press this and that's it. It cuts all power from the battery to your relay box. It's really good, it's really nice, and it's a 100 ampere fuse. So yep, you want this. You want a terminal block. You want to make sure that this terminal block can hold up to 40 to 50 ampere, at least minimal. You do not want to use anything 10 to 20 ampere because it will start heating up the block and it might melt in the long run. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. It's fine for nitrous application or water methanol, where, you know, the power just comes in for a few seconds and it cuts off. But for fuel pump, radiator fans and stuff like that you're going to be running continuously as long as the car starts, yeah, you do not want anything that below 20 amp. This is a fuse box. So basically what it does is it takes power from here through the fuse, and from this part here, okay, if you guys look closely, it's written here battery and AUX. So battery power comes to this terminal and this terminal goes to the fuse box here. And what it does is it goes through these fuses and exits out through these terminals. See, there's a LED here. This LED will indicate if there is no power flowing through. Basically, if there's power here but it's not there's power here but it's not flowing through here, the LED will light up indicating that, dude, this fuse is blown, you gotta replace this. So make sure you get the one with LED. I have another one, just a moment. So this one is the one that I got from China as well. Well guys, to be honest, everything here is from China, except for Bosch products, which I think is probably made in China as well. No idea. Yep. Oh no, made in Malaysia, surprisingly. Yeah, there is a Bosch factory here. So alright, this one uses small fuses as you can see, but it doesn't have the LED indicator, you know. So this one I'll be running in the car, basically from all the accessory power output going to this terminal block, and this terminals will be going to like gauges and stuff like that, or whatever accessories parts that I will require. That way I have inline of fuse. I only have to tap one wire for the accessories. Ignition, I do not have to tap multiple times for, you know, gauges and, you know, water methanol and stuff like that. You don't need to have so many multiple connections. And I like this one because it's really small and compact, and there's a cover as well, and you can mount it basically anywhere you want in a car. This one is a little bit bigger, and I needed the 8 fuse. Only problem is I never found, I did a mistake. I ordered the 10 terminal block, 10 way. I should have gone with the 8, but I wanted extra 4 terminal blocks in case if I need to wire anything up or have any extra wiring from the relays to power up some other stuff, or, you know, accessories and stuff. So yep. Obviously you will need is a wire slicing tool. So yep, it will make your life so much more easier, and you make the wiring basically you size the wire at exactly amount of length that you need. This is a crimping tool which you will need to crimp the terminals. So here are the terminals and the bolts and stuff like that. So this cable tie is basically, as you know, I'm using only one color wiring, all black. Just basically two wiring size, but it's all black, single color. So as you can see, what it does is it's just like a cable tie, and when you zip it to any wiring or the relay or whatever, you can indicate like what it is, and you will want this. Trust me guys, this is such it's a really good stuff. I know people saying that, dude, why not make yellow, red, green, you know, terminals, like as most relays it comes wiring like that. Yeah, it's fine, but you know, if you have multiple accessories wiring going through front the car, you won't know which is which. So at the end of the day, yeah, a cable marker, yeah, that will help you tons. Pure copper terminal block. This will be taking power from the battery itself. This can handle more than 100 amps. You want a normal one that can handle, this one can handle easily 30-40 amps, terminal blocks, and it's a cream style as well. This is basically, I can't remember what they call this, a cake terminal or something like that, but it's basically like, most people just simply call it, in a simple term, a fork terminal. So it's easier this way. You do not want something like that, because you will have to unscrew the whole terminal block to put in this round type terminal block. But this one you don't need to. You can just slide it in, you know, unscrew it a little bit, slide it in, and screw it down. That's about it. And anything case, you can just pull it out. Simple as that. Main reason I use this one is because it's easier this way. You're not really going to remove this part as often as possible as the one on the terminal block, and this one can handle much more higher ampere. And main reason I never wanted to use the fork type terminal here is because if it were to come loose, you know, it might touch this part or somewhere, you know, like this one that's like covered at the side, so it won't really like hit the others and short them. So that's my reason. These are the bolts. All bolts here, sorry, all the screws and the bolts are stainless steel. You want to use stainless steel, guys, not just normal steel. So it's an Allen key one. I'll drill 6 holes. Hold on, let me put this side. So I'll make 6 holes here. Alright. And I'm gonna basically mount them from bottom and screw this part here, so it's gonna have a little bit gap below it. It's gonna have hold on, let me show you guys more simple. It's gonna have a little bit more gap down here. So this one goes below the hardboard. Sorry, I forgot to explain that I'll be mounting the fuse block on the rear bonnet. I'll show you guys. So this is the BMW rear, and you know there's a big space here which I'm gonna mount the, sorry, not sure if you guys can see, but this is the empty space that I'm gonna be mounting the fuel surge tank, the methanol tank and stuff like that, and the pump. And this part here is where I'm gonna mount the fuse box. So as you can see, I've cut it exactly to how the shape and size I wanted, and I'm gonna mount it right here. There's enough gap and height that I can still put my trunk carpet plate on top of it, and it covers and seals nicely. That way it doesn't take any space. I know some people say, why didn't you mount on the board of the top part of the battery cover? Yeah, I didn't want that because if you're gonna open it up, it's gonna mess with the wirings. You're gonna pull the wiring out, and you can never ever take out the whole entire battery cover without, you know, unplugging the terminal blocks and stuff like that. Like this one, yeah, you will never really pull this thing out from the car. So alright guys, one more thing. I'm using Bosch terminal relays. I do not know why, but I love Bosch products. It's never failed me for the past 15 years. I've always used Bosch. Their parts are just top notch, highest quality grade, I can tell, but it's still made in Taiwan. But it's fine though. I know some people's like, oh, you know, I'm not going to use anything from China. Like the wastegates and even turbochargers I'm getting are from China, injectors as well, intake manifold as well. A lot of parts are from China. For me, the main purpose is, does it work? Will it work? You know, quality wise, you know, and obviously the most important thing is to make sure that they have made in such precision that, you know, it will actually work. So for example, if you get a turbo, you want to make sure it's fully balanced. You want to make sure that it lasts, you know, even though it doesn't really last for a long time. But well, I've run original turbos, I've run original wastegates, this and that and everything. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't last anyway. So for me, main reason I got the China turbo is because I want to test out the GTX 35 that I'll be running, to make sure that I'm comfortable enough with the power or the turbine housing and stuff like that. And if I feel in any way that I want more power, yeah, I can always upgrade to, you know, bigger and original turbos, but budget's a little bit limited guys, so I'll just go with the China one. But they had fully tested, fully balanced, fully machined, and the best part is it's a T51R mode. That's right. For whoever do not know the T51R mode, this is how it sounds like. Sounds good, right? I know. So let's get to it guys. I'm gonna do a time lapse. I'm gonna start drilling, making them. I know you guys don't want to, you know, watch me do this on a real time, so I'm gonna do a time lapse. That way you guys don't have to wait forever to get this done, because it's gonna take a while. So see you guys then. Hey guys, alright, so I had a little setback. What happened was, I don't know if you guys can see this, but see this part that I was drilling? Yeah, it actually cracked. Yep. So I know you're not supposed to use this. It's acrylic, it's thin. I think it's only 0.5 mm. It's super thin. It will crack easily. I did order a bunch of ABS plastic, 30 times 30 cm. I ordered like 10 of them, but the problem is it's been like a month plus and it hasn't arrived yet. And I don't want to delay anymore on this build. I want to make sure that I get all done as soon as possible. I mean, sooner or later when the ABS plastic come, I could just swap back and everything will just be done real quick anyways. Mounting this stuff is actually very easy. I wasted a lot of time actually trying to fix the plate, with carbon wrap and stuff like that. I know I didn't wrap it nicely. I didn't really bother. Main purpose I wrap is to make sure that it doesn't start to break apart and crack here and there. So I hope that the carbon wrap will hold it a bit. Yeah, it's holding it a little bit. It becomes flex, but it won't really crack and break it. So breaker bar, power distribution unit, terminal blocks, everything is mounted. Now it's just a relay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this cable. It's a 35026 cable. It's quite thick. I think this is equivalent to 14 gauge, I guess. Yeah, 14 gauge. So this one will be used for the power and the ground, from power distribution block to the number 30 on the relay and the ground as well. And I'll be using this wire. This wire is 2826. It's a little bit thinner. It's not that thick. This one I'll be using for the accessories power and ground. So because you won't really require a lot of power for this. So sorry, my bad. This one will be running from the battery power distribution block to here and out to all the fuel pumps, the fans, methanol pumps and nitrous solenoid and stuff like that. So yeah, this one will be the power and the ground for activating the relay switch, because you don't really require that much of a current, ampere. So 16 gauge, I think. Yeah, this 16. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 16 gauge. So yeah, that will work fine. So I'm gonna go back and do a time lapse on making the terminal pins. So basically it's just like that, and what I'm going to do is let me show you guys. So this is a crimping tool. The die is actually for up to only 16 gauge, so it's going to be a little bit hard for the 14 gauge. So what we do is we slide this in here. Alright, sorry, let me make it this smaller bit, because this crimping tool is actually for my sleeving cable business that I had. So it's only up to 18 gauge and 16 gauge. So yeah, you crimp it like that. Alright, and you slide in the cable and the slice off wire here, this side, and you just push it down and it will crimp and make a perfect crimp. That way the wire will never ever slip out. So yep, and we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do a time lapse on that. So see you guys then. Hey guys, alright, so I've mounted everything. It was such a problematic board though. I mean, this board, yeah, you can't really use this board though. I know I won't be using this board anyways. I'll be using the ABS board. ABS board is more robust, it's more flexible, it wouldn't crack, and you can bend them as well. You can heat it up and bend them however shape you want. So definitely I'm gonna use that ABS because I'm gonna bend this side. I'm gonna bend the side here, sorry, this side, to make sure that there's gap in between the back part, so all these screws won't be touching the carpet. So yep, seems good. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna mount it. Alright, so this is the trunk, and this side is facing the front of the car, this is the rear. So I'm gonna place it just like that, and 4 bolts here which goes through here, and I'll just screw them up, and that's about it. Should be all good. Fits perfectly, and yep, that will do it. So basically from the rear of the trunk, I have everything I need from this side. So this one is going to come from the battery, which I'm going to wire it all the way here and through the side here and to the side of the battery on the right side, and auxiliary, which I'll wire them this side and pull it to this side, and these are the battery powers that's going to be coming here to the power distribution block. There you go. See, it's not in there. Oh, come on. Alright, no, it's not gonna. Okay, you know what? Yep, power distribution block. Top one goes to this one, this part here. These are the power that is going to power up all the application, the fan, the injectors, and stuff like that. So it's all going to be there. Rubbish. Alright, so the right side of the relay is going to be mounted to here. These are all the power accessory. So basically when I on the ignition, this is where the power is going to come in, and it's going to start the relay. But this is where the ground is going to go, on the right side of the relay here. So basically I'm going to run all the wires for fuse. First thing, ground, you don't really need thick wires, so I'm just going to run simple 18 gauge wire throughout the car all the way to the front of the switch, because some of it will require switch, some won't. So it depends. Maybe some I'll just ground it, you know, somewhere on the body behind here, but some I'm gonna wire and run the cable, the wires all the way to the front of the cockpit, driver's side, and have a switch there. I do not want to run power all the way to the switch, because if you were to pull power and current throughout the body, and if there is any slight cut or anyway, you're gonna risk getting shorting the relays and stuff like that. So it's better to run ground, because well, if there's a slice or anything, it will just activate the relays, you know, so it won't really be any issue with it. I know some people have been telling last time when I did the nitrous for the S4, they said, yeah, but what if there's a cut and, you know, your nitrous solenoid relays start activate and all of a sudden you have nitrous. Yeah, but I do have the PSN Innovate Motorsports controller, so if it's below the parameter or there's no pressure, let's say the bottle is closed, there's no boost pressure, nitrous pressure, there's no RPM signals and stuff like that above 5,000, yeah, it's not going to kick in. So I'll be idle, and if the nitrous were to activate, the PSN 1 relay will activate the solenoids instead. So unless the the nitrous solenoid were to get a cut here somewhere and ground, then yeah, it will probably bypass the inner weight and, you know, activate by itself. But that's a very rare chance to have ground anywhere around here, because it's all carpeted. So hopefully it would, but so far so good. So this is just a temporary board. Just waiting for the ABS, and I'll mount them. I'll probably go and get something machined out of aluminium. That would be much more better. Maybe that would be much more nicer though, but I can't really get bolts and screw them bottom and stuff like that. This one for the relays is possible, if you guys can see. I'll show you guys a little bit clearer view. So I didn't really screw them all, because as long as it's mounted here, it's fine. But obviously when I get the ABS one, I'll screw all of them in to make sure that it's snug and fit. And I just twist the wires to make sure that it's much more clearer. I know you guys must be wondering, why didn't he just wire color coded the wires? Well, you don't really need to, because you can tell. I mean, I'm so used to seeing relays and wiring that I will eventually know where the wires are from and which wire is going. And if anywhere from the distribution block, I know it's from here. Anywhere from here is definitely ground. Here is accessory, and here is to all the control units that I'll be running, such as fan, fuel pumps and stuff like that. To show you guys a little bit more better, I will be running the fuel surge tank here. So the surge tank will be around this high, and it's a 2-liter surge tank, single pump. I don't need to run dual pump, as I'll be running the GTX 35, and 90 degrees will go throughout this board. I guess, I think it's a board, it's a carpeted board or something. So I'll run all the fittings through here, and I might not have pass-through fittings, where, you know, where they have like 2 threads, where first you thread in and you slide it in and make sure that it fits snugly here, and then you have the fittings here. I'll just probably run a hose through it, and I want to make sure there's actually air gap around here, so it will, because it'll be out of the car from this side. So at least any petrol fume will be sucked out and out of the car. That way the petrol fume will just stay in here and get in the trunk and get into the car. Yeah, I don't want that. So I'll probably just make a bigger hole here. It's quite high from the car, so it doesn't really matter. And for the fuel fit, it'll be a 90 degree and straightaway a fuel filter here, and then straightaway through here. So here will be the methanol injection tank. I'll put it here. I'll probably custom make a tank and have the pump here and run them through here as well. I'll probably make like a long cut here, not too big, not too small, and make sure that all the lines are close to each other, but without too much gap. And well, it's still braided, so this board will never like cut through the hose, so it doesn't matter if it moves a lot or so, but I'll make sure it's really snug as well, and that should be good. And also I'll have the nitrous line coming through here, through the board, from the top side. Well, you will go through the underside and go through here as well for the nitrous. So everything seems good. I'm still planning. I know the build is taking a while, but I do not like to rush into things. I want to make sure everything is done correctly. I don't like doing work twice, like how I did this relay stuff. Yeah, I don't like that. But you know, I had some free time, and I thought, you know what, might as well do this, because once I start the build running and the car and the engine in and out, yeah, I wouldn't have time to do this as well. It's a lot of work, guys. It took me a few hours, because the planning takes hours of. So everything seems great. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I stopped the video earlier. I had this high temperature tape It's a heat repellent tape. So basically I'm gonna tape the wires anywhere where there's a lot of heat source, especially like near the exhaust manifold and stuff like that. Yeah, this one is really good. I tested just now and I just put a lighter on it and it didn't melt at all. It just maintained, the tape just maintained its texture, and I tried to put my finger on top. Well, you do feel hot, you know, you do, but it's definitely going to retain as much heat away from the wires. So yeah, I'll definitely have this. And before I tape the wires with the Tesa tape, I'll use this first, and then the Tesa tape, and then the wire covers. So that should definitely give enough heat protection from all the heat. Anyways guys, I'm gonna start wiring everything. I probably won't do a time lapse, but I'll show you guys when it's all done. Hey guys, alright, so I tried to crimp the connectors, but the problem is the tool that I have, you know, won't really provide a clean crimping. You see, it's way too big, even on the bigger side. Okay, can you see that? It's way too big though. So I'm gonna order a different die for this and swap it out and make sure that you do not want the wires coming out from the terminals though. That will be disastrous. That will short everything, including the meters, the fan, the pump, you know, nitro solenoid, whatever, you know, blow up the whole entire car. So yeah, you do not want to just chip out and, you know, you just use pliers and crimp it. I know some people will say, well, as long as it's snug, it's fine. Yeah, I do not want that. I'm not in the rush. It's not like I have to get it in the car for now, so I'll just wait for the die, and once it's here, I'll definitely start to do, you know, get the wires running and everything, and I'll show you guys sooner or later when everything is done. So I think that will be all for today guys. Thank you so much for watching always guys. I appreciate it so much. Do like and subscribe guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao boys.